Okay, so now I want to talk about the values of the company. We have 4 primary values that we try to uphold at all times. And these are character, care, courage, and conscientiousness. So character, care, courage, conscientiousness. Those are our values. And what I mean by these values is when I say character, I think of integrity. Integrity means at oneness. It means an ability to keep your word and do what you say you're going to do. I found that the best way to actually execute on having good character is having a calendar and writing down the things that you promised people you would do and actually orienting yourself to look at that. It's time management, making sure that you're planning the day before the day begins, that you're planning the week before the week begins. It's reviewing your day. What went good? What went wrong? Where can you learn and grow? It's reviewing your week. It's reviewing your month, your quarter, your year, your decade, and learning from your experiences and orienting yourself towards becoming better with keeping your word and doing good unto others. That's what I think of when I think of having good character. It's simply keeping your word. And we'll get into that further in the 4 Rules of Time Management series, but we'll start there. Character is important. It's one of our values, and it's something that's going to be a litmus test on whether or not you will thrive within this company. Are you doing what you said you would do? Are you keeping your word? So character. The next one is care, and this is just giving a care, actually caring about things. Caring about your work, taking pride in the work that you're doing, keeping the golden rule, right? Doing unto others as you would have them do unto you. Being a decent human being. That's all I mean when I think of care. We also think of safety when we're thinking of care, right? How can I be my brother's keeper and make sure that he's safe on this job site? How can I make sure that I'm caring enough to speak up and tell him to wear a respirator or hold his ladder when it needs to be held? We need to be our brother's keeper and make sure that everybody's maintaining safety standards on the job site. We also need to care about the client. I like to frame it as each one of our clients is like our grandparents or our parents, and that we'll have to inherit the work that we're working on, and we'll have to hear it from them if we did a bad job every family gathering. And so when you frame it that way, you begin to care a little bit more about that client. How would I want to do this job if it was my own? That is what we think of when we think of care. Be a decent human being. Actually care, right? The next one is courage. So the reason I added courage is because breakdowns do happen. Even when you're aiming up to keep your word to the best of your ability, even when you genuinely care about the product, you care about the project, you care about the client, mistakes happen. A ladder falls into a window and breaks it. The paint bucket spills over onto the concrete, spilling out paint onto the concrete, and it's not cleaning up well. The spray rig gun blows up in your hand and you end up having paint go all over the shingles. You drop a picture and it breaks the picture when you're doing the interior of a project. Breakdowns happen. Accidents happen. But what we do is put our best foot forward to communicate this with the client in a timely manner and treat breakdowns as an opportunity to build trust with our clients and not break it. And so they hire a professional painting company because we've made all the mistakes and they're hoping that their project will go smoothly. And more times than not, it will. But one thing that I promise all of our clients that if any breakdown happens, you can count on us to have courage to communicate with you and to put our best foot forward. Another component of courage is actually speaking up if something's not being done right. If you see a foreman that's not doing something to a standard and you're an apprentice, actually having the courage to speak with the production manager about that. Or actually having the courage to tell your foreman, hey, you need to wear a respirator, you're not wearing one. Because you actually care about them enough to do it, even though they've shut you down time and time again. Just continuing to have courage, communicate the things that are harder to communicate, and be willing to do it sooner than later. That's what we think of when we think of courage. And one thing that we found is that as we do that, we're showing good character and we're showing that we actually care. Now, the last one is it's actually more of a personality type than it is a character quality so much. And it's conscientiousness. What I mean when I say conscientious is attentive to detail. So paying attention to the little details, and also having a keen awareness of how your life affects other people and aiming towards it affecting them in a positive way. And what I mean by that is, if you leave trash on the sidewalk, actually picking it up, or really not leaving it there ever. And conscientiousness is something that I look for in someone personality-wise on whether or not they're going to be a good fit for the company. Are they going to have clean work? Are they going to see that drip of paint when it's still wet before they move on to the next area and fix it? Are they going to actually finish sections and be able to finish the section in full before leaving to paint the other section so that they don't have to come back? Are they going to lock the door and turn out the lights for the client every time since they requested for us to do that? Conscientiousness is an important component of being a good painter. You need to be able to see details. You need to be able to pay attention. You need to be able to fix things sooner than later. And you need to be aware of how your life affects others with the aim of affecting it in a positive way. And that's what I think of when I think of conscientiousness. So we have character, keep your word, do what you say you're going to do. We have care, be a decent human being, keep the golden rule. We have courage. If you make a mistake, own up to it and treat it as an opportunity to build trust and not break it. And then we have conscientiousness. Pay attention to details, be a clean person, and consider others when you're doing anything that you're doing and how it might affect them. And aim upwards. Try to affect people in a positive manner. Those are the values of Quality Coats Painting. That's what we care about here. And if you find that you don't fit within the framework of those values, then you're not going to be a good fit here. Okay? If you don't keep your word well, you're going to be found out and you're not going to work out here. If you don't care enough to speak up when a mistake is made, that is going to be a problem. If you're not having that ability to actually care and to take initiative on a project and to care enough to do right by the client and to take pride in your work, then it's going to show. And if you're not paying attention to details and being cognizant of your surroundings and being clean on the job site, then that's going to be a problem. And if you have some issues in any one of these areas, we have other training for you to go through to help you in these areas. The big one's character, time management, right? That's a big component of your ability to be a high performing individual in society that can have a potential to produce more income. And so that's why it's valuable to have good character. It's like a bicycle that doesn't have air in the tire. It's not so much a moral thing. It's just a practical, like, okay, you're not going to be able to travel as far or as fast if you lack integrity, right? So that's why it's so important to make sure that we uphold these values, is because they all ebb and flow together and they end up creating a high quality paint job and a stress-free experience for our clients when we consistently uphold those values and value them ourselves. So remember these 4 values: character, care, courage, and conscientiousness, and know that whenever we show up at a project, our clients are expecting that of us, because I'm telling them about this mission, I'm telling them about our values, and I'm telling them what they can expect from us when we're there if they've trusted us enough to earn their business to do a good paint job for them. So study these values, make it an aim to get better at any area you might find yourself weak in. Maybe you're not as attentive to detail as you'd like to be and you're a little messy. Work on that, right? Clean your car out. Work on those things. Remove the trash out of your car when you get gas instead of letting it pile up, right? Those little small things that other people don't see are the things that end up mattering the most, and they end up affecting your work without you even realizing it. And so I just want to challenge you guys to remember these 4 values, to uphold them, And we're going to continue to grow value in the marketplace by upholding them. Peace.